Hello, everybody. I thought I would take this opportunity. I'm stuck at home all the time now. I have no more job. So let's go through my gear. You can see from this photo here, this is not all of it. This is sort of the main chunk of it, though. There's only 2 or 3 instruments missing. So let's just dig in. We'll kind of just go from left to right here. I think we'll get the acoustic. Let's get both the acoustics out of the way, and then we'll do the basses, then the electrics, and then whatever's left. First is this La Patrie nylon guitar. Nothing special. Someone brought it in to work on a trade-in, so I managed to get it. I don't even remember what it was. A few $100 though. So really not too bad. Nothing else to say about it. Solid cedar top. I assume it's a bolt-on neck because all these cheap Simon & Patrick and affiliates tend to be bolt-on necks. But I love it. It sounds so much better than the Yamaha C60 I had before this, which is Yamaha's like bottom entry-level classical. Still a great guitar, but man, this one just has some actual tone to it. It's very nice. So moving on, this another Simon & Patrick. La Patrie, Simon & Patrick, Norman, Godin. There's so many companies that are all just the same company, at least here in Canada. So this Simon & Patrick I got, I believe, May 16th, 1998, the day Seinfeld ended. Just happened to grab it that day, and then we had to rush back home to watch the series finale. So this guitar has been through a lot. You can sort of see from some of these close-up shots. I was only playing guitar for maybe 4 years when I got this, 3 or 4 years. So there's lots of scratches and dings on it because I had no idea what I was doing on guitar yet. I certainly wouldn't have destroyed the guitar this much if it was new. That's it for the acoustics. So moving on to the basses. This is a 2010 vintage modified Squire that I picked up for $240 used. Then several years later, I pulled the frets out. I also replaced the pickguard. Still tortoiseshell, but it was black, white, black for the 3-ply. I wanted white, black, white. I replaced that. I also replaced all the electronics in it. The pickups are still the same because they sound like bass pickups. But the electronics, they were fine too. I just wanted more practice soldering up control plates. So put new knobs on as well. It came with like cheap, kind of soft little plastic knobs. It looked like dollar store knobs. So replaced them with some kind of more regular jazz bass knobs. You can see from some of these close-up shots, pulling out the frets and then refilling it with some kind of putty. It did work, and the bass actually works fine, but it does not look great. I think the only saving grace is it looks like Jocko's. So moving on from there, here's another jazz bass. This is a 2016 made in Mexico. I think this is the standard. I can't remember if it's the standard or the player because they keep changing the name all the time. So that's all this is. There's nothing special. Again, I changed the pickguard. It was like a white, barely mint pickguard. Changed that to this tortoiseshell. It does have a twisted neck. I was waiting for one from Fender, but now with this virus, I have no idea how long that's going to take. They already told me it was going to take 4 months because they only make these Mexican necks in batches, apparently. I think what'll end up happening is I'll just replace it with a Warmoth, whether I get the replacement neck from Fender or not. I just like Warmoth necks a lot more. There's nothing new with or changed with this one, though, other than the pickguard. I use this one. It is always tuned down to E flat. It's just my half-step down bass. You can't see, but it does have a hip shot detuner on it, so I can go to drop D flat. And that's about it for this one. So next, we have my Warmoth P bass. I built this in 2016 with some help from my dad. Not that either of us knew what we were doing. I'm certainly much better at it now. Nothing crazy about this one. I don't even remember. Oh, yeah, basswood body, roasted maple neck, 6150 frets. This Wilkinson bridge is brand new because the Goto 201 that I had warped. And it was a high mass bridge, and all that mass behind the screws all warped from the string tension. So that was disappointing. I was trying to avoid that stuff. The pickups are Bill Lawrence. You can sort of see from some of these pictures that they have more pole pieces than you would normally find on a P bass. They're sort of made that you could put them in a 5-string as well, I guess. But yeah, other than that, when I built it, since I've built it, everything has been swapped out. All the electronics, the pots, the pickups, everything has been swapped out. Originally, I had put Fender 62 Custom Shop reissue pickups in there. They're fine. I just wanted these Bill Lawrence. It took me maybe 3 years to replace the electronics and actually put some left-handed pots in there. So that was a little bit of an adjustment. Overall, probably my favorite bass. I just find it's the one I go to the most, and I don't know if that's just because of the roasted maple neck, but yeah, it does feel very good. So moving on, this is my 1986 made in Japan jazz bass. Though when I got it, I bought it from a guy in New York online in 2003, summer of 2003. It came to me and the neck was a little warped. It had too much of a bow in it and I could not get the bow out. Maybe now I could. I know a lot more now, and maybe I could loosen the truss rod and just clamp it and try and straighten it. But I actually lost the neck. I don't know how you lose a bass neck, but I lost it. Because since it was warped, I replaced it with this quarter sawn maple neck from Warmouth. I mean, I got no complaints. This neck has been great. Quarter sawn is, I think, either roasted maple or quarter sawn. Those are kind of the ways to go. I suppose roasted quarter sawn if you could get it. The thing I like about quarter sawn is that the shrinkage is vertical instead of horizontal. So I've never had fret sprout on this. And I even did get fret sprout on my my roasted maple. These again are Bill Lawrence pickups, and they have more pole pieces than you would normally find on jazz pickups. So that's been replaced. All the electronics have been replaced. I thought when I was replacing the pickups, I might as well replace the electronics. That way, if I ever want to swap back, I kind of just dump everything back into the bass and don't have to worry about rewiring electronics or something like that. So on the top of a dresser here, I've got all the original parts for it. Other than that, this one also has a Hipshot detuner that you can't see because I didn't bother taking any photos. I think everyone has seen a Hipshot tuner anyways. If you haven't, just Google it. And that's it for the basses. Moving on to the guitars, here is my Classic Vibe. This is I think it's a 2018. Yeah, 2018 Classic Vibe Telly. I think every left-handed guitar player has one of these. It was like a dream come true to be able to get like a good instrument that was this butterscotch Telly. Even though I'm actually not a big fan of the figuring in it, the pine lines are so thick, it almost looks like some kind of like butterscotch candy to me, which I don't really like. Otherwise, the guitar is great. There's some flaming in the neck, which I didn't take a photo of. It is a very nice guitar. I did try this out against an American Professional Telecaster, and I really couldn't tell the difference. I kept A-Bing them over and over again, and they sound like Tellys to me. It sounds the exact same. I don't know if in time these frets or, the metal components are going to kind of show signs of aging. In the meantime, I mean, I would sell this guitar. I'm not really much of a Telly guy, but it's a great guitar. I got no complaints with it. The electronics haven't been really swapped out, but I did rewire this so that it has that dark circuit that you used to, I guess, be able to get in the 50s. So position 1 is just the bridge pickup. Position 2 is just the neck pickup. And position 3 is the neck pickup with a real heavy capacitor on it. Sort of like an instant tone switch. And then I can actually still roll the tone on top of that tone anyway, so I can kind of get like the darkest sound, like almost remove all the mids as well as the treble. And then if I'm careful with it, I can still wiggle the toggle switch kind of in between 1 and 2 and still get both pickups. So it's kind of a 4-way switch. It does the job for me anyways. I thought the dark circuit, I just think it sounds cool. As far as how useful it is, I don't really use it. And that's about it with this Classic Vibe Telly. I really do like these. Oh, I did replace the nut as well. It had a plastic nut. All these Classic Vibes now come with a bone nut, but mine just had plastic. I don't know what you want to call it. I don't think it was tusk. So I replaced that with bone, carved myself a bone nut for that. And that's it. So here's my newest guitar. This is a Fender Blacktop Strat. These were like an exclusive for Long McQuaid here in Canada and Guitar Center in the States. That's when I got it. And then eventually they released them to every dealer. I really only got it. I had never had a guitar with humbuckers. And this looks so much like the the SG that Hendrix played on the Dick Cavett show and other places. But there's no way. I mean, that SG, even getting a new one, not a vintage one, it's, $4 or $5 grand or something like that. This cost me $11.69, or that was the retail price, and I paid a little less. But yeah, never had humbuckers in a guitar before. This is a mahogany body, which I also never had a mahogany guitar before. Yeah, I thought it was like, I'm really comfortable with Strats. Thought this would be a nice addition. And it's kind of ugly. I do think it's kind of ugly, and that for some reason is what drew me to it. I will say it's going to be the last Fender I ever buy. 2 of these pickups are already microphonic. The bridge pickup is fine, but the middle and the neck, you tap them even just a little bit and you get the sound coming out of the amp. I think the frets could still use some work. I'm probably going to have to do some fall away on the last, 8 or 10 frets or whatever, because I'm getting it's fretting out a little bit. What else? The tuners are garbage. Tuners are absolute garbage. I was pretty disappointed in those. I just don't, since I'm not working now, I don't have the money to replace them. Fender said they were going to send some new ones, but that was in December, and they never sent them. So, what can you do? It's still cheaper. What I paid for it, I think, was $950 or something like that. $913.50. So that's still cheaper than if I had built a Warmoth, but I would have had a better guitar with a Warmoth. Anyways, I still like it. It's great. It's nice to have some humbuckers. So then the next, speaking of Warmoth, here's my first Warmoth build. This shell pink Strat with, once again, Bill Lawrence pickups. I originally had a Texas Special, a Mexican Middle, and a Seymour Duncan Vintage in the bridge, and I was still using all the electronics I had from an old Mexican Strat. Since then, once I got these Bill Lawrence pickups, rewired everything, now it's got, I don't think they're CTS, I think they're Alpha, because it's really tough to find, or for me anyways, tough to find some left-handed CTS audio taper pots. So I got some Alpha pots, and that's about it. There's nothing too special with this one. It's great. I got no complaints with this. Roasted maple, forever and ever. That'll be my neck choice, I think. Yeah, other than that, it's just a Strat. I love it. So the next one is this Typhoon. I guess Typhoon was made by Diodario for a few years or something like that. I got this guitar for $80. Some dad was just getting rid of it because his kid wanted to play guitar, but never did. Never stuck with it. So the dad just wanted to unload it. I got it with a nice case for $80. I would just leave this one at work where I used to teach so that I could ride my bike to work or something. Didn't need to worry about carrying gear with me every day. And I also used it, since it was $80, I kind of used it just to experiment with mods. So that's something I can even talk a little bit about the pink guitar as well. Both of those guitars, the second tone knob doesn't do anything. Well, on the pink one it doesn't. On this one, on the Typhoon guitar here, that tone knob I have wired to roll in the neck volume so that I can have the neck come in with any pickup combination. And I really do like the sound of the neck and the bridge pickup together on this Strat. So that was, very easy to rewire that. You can also see from these pictures, I installed a kill switch on this guitar for no reason other than I'd never done it. Just wanted to see how it worked, and that is a very easy mod. Not a useful mod for me anyways, but if you're looking to start modding on your guitar, kill switch. Man, that's a nice, easy first mod. And that's it for the guitars. So really all that's left is this Alabama mandolin that I picked up for, I think, $100, maybe 80, somewhere in there. It was very cheap. This is like an entry-level instrument. It was right-handed, so I just swapped it over. You can see from this photo here, I didn't even bother with replacing the nut or anything. But somehow it works. The action is like basically on the fretboard. If you've ever played mandolin, it's kind of hard on the fingers, so getting that action really low is kind of your only saving grace. And it worked. I love this mandolin. It's the easiest way for a guitar player to kind of learn violin music. And if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know that I really only play Bach on mandolin. Whole reason I got this mandolin was just to learn the Bach violin works. And it is always eye-opening. There's always something new to be learning with Bach. That's really it. There's nothing much to say about this mandolin. It's pretty stock. It's pretty cheap, but it holds its tune. Sounds good enough. I don't have an ear for mandolin. I can tell if one is nice, but I'm not doing any gigging or performing with it. And that's it. There's my instruments. I think the only one missing is my upright bass, but I don't really play that anymore anyways. So here is just, since we're done with the instruments, just quickly I'll show you, here's my setup. Here's my computer setup. So I am running a Ryzen 5 1600 with 32 gigs of RAM. It's slow RAM. It's 2400. I think I got about 10 terabytes of storage. 9.5, I think, is what it actually is. What else? An RX 580 graphics card. I use Reaper to record all the audio, even this audio. I have Camtasia to do all the video editing. The mic I'm using right now is an Aston E-Spirit. I think that's what it's called. It has no name on the actual mic, but it is a great mic. It is the mic that I use to record any of the stuff. If any of you have heard the album that I've recorded, or anytime you see me playing acoustic guitar and there's a mic in front of me, that's the one. I think it was about $550 or something like that. Great mic for the price, I think. And yeah, you can see in the photo here, I have that Steinberg UR22 audio interface, 2-channel interface. And then the Canon in that photo in the bottom right, you can see that little Canon. I can never remember the name of it. It's too many numbers and letters, but just the little Canon video camera. I think that was about $200. And that's it. There's all my, there's a little tour of all my stuff. And I've been talking for about 20 minutes. So see if I can't edit that down a little bit and save your ears. So you have to watch 20 minutes of this. And that's it. I hope everyone's staying safe, and I'll see you guys in a video soon.